Assalamualaikum and greetings to Prof. Madia Dr. Rokiah binti Ishaq. In this video, we will present the application of MFRS by Malaysian companies. For the years 2018 until 2020, this project will help students learn how Malaysian listed companies apply and disclose MFRS 108, 110, 110C, 113C as well as key audit matters. We choose companies from three sectors which are industrial products, construction and plantation. The companies are Dolomite Corporation Berhad, CSC Steels Holding Berhad, Gamuda Berhad, Binali Holdings Berhad and Gopeng Berhad.
I will be presenting on literature review. Firstly is key audit matters. The key audit matters are those that were the most relevant in the audit of the current period financial account according to the auditor's professional assessment. The key audit matters disclosure will also provide insight into whether management representation are skewed from reality. Next is MFRS 110. Events following the reporting period are both positive and negative events that occur between the date of the statement of financial position and the date on which the financial statement are permitted for issues. There are two types of event, which is adjusting after reporting period and non-adjusting after reporting period. Next is MFRS 108. The statement of financial account indicate a substantial failure in financial reporting, which could have catastrophic consequences for firm, institutional and individual investors, stock market and regulatory agencies. Company must repair substantial prior period mistake retrospectively in the first set of financial statement authorized for issuance by restating the appropriate amount for the prior period supplied in which the error occurred. Next is MFRS 116. Financial reporting frequently involve the use of valuation. After first recognition by a reporting organisation, the cost model or revaluation model must be applied to complete group of PPE. In conclusion, impairment testing and if necessary, recognition are required for PPE. Lastly is MFRS 136. The goal of MFRS 136 is to guarantee that assets are valued at a level that does not exceed their recoverable value in financial statement. As a result, MFRS 136 are designed to ensure that financial reporting statements are transparent.
For Dolomite Corporation Berhad, the disclosure of MFRS 108 is MFRS 9, which is financial instrument. MFRS 9 introduced an approach for the classification of financial asset which is driven by cash flow characteristic and the business model in which an asset is held. Second is MFRS 15, revenue from contract with customers. To comply with MFRS 15, an organization must record revenue to reflect transfer of promised product or service to customer in an amount that reflect to consideration expected in return for such good or service. For Gamuda Berhad, the disclosure of MFRS 108 is adoption of MFRS 16 list. The group began applying MFRS 16 in 2020 on 1 August 2019 using a modified retrospective method and did not restate in the cooperative for the year 2019. Then is MFRS 123, which is borrowing cost relating to overtime transfer of construction goods. There is no impact on Gamuda Berhad upon the adoption of this standard. For CSC Steel Holding Berhad, the disclosure of MFRS 108 is MFRS 9, which is financial instrument. Financial instrument as amended in July 2014 and the related consequence revision to other MFRS standard that take effect on or after January 1, 2018 have been implemented by the company and the group. The group and company have chosen not to restate comparative in terms of financial instruments categorized and measurement. For Gopeng Berhad, in 2018, list will be replaced by MFRS 16 instead of MFRS 117. MFRS 16 is in effect for the fiscal year beginning on or after 1 January 2019. Operating lease payment are represented as operating cash flow under MFRS 117. However, the lease payment will be split into principal and interest portion under MFRS 16. For Belalet Holding Berhad, the disclosure of MFRS 108 is MFRS 9, which is financial instrument. For annual period beginning on or after January 1, 2018, recognition and measurement encompassing all three aspects of financial instrument accounting, which is classification and measurement, impairment and hedging accounting. Then is MFRS 16 list. MFRS 16 replace MFRS 117 lists. LISO will continue to categorize list as operational of financial list in according with the standard outlined in MFRS 117.
For disclosure of MFRS 110 subsidiary event, Dolomite Corporate have both event, which is adjusting event and non-adjusting event, while for other corporate is only non-adjusting event. Dolomite Corporate have both event, such as outstanding warranty C as lapsed and become null and void in 2018 and entering into share sales agreement with Sunway Holding in 2019 for adjusting event. Dominic and Subway Holding mutually agreed to further extend the unconditional date in 2019 for non-adjusting event. In 2018, Gamuda Waters accept Ais Selangor offer with 80% owner subsidiary and SCS Steel Holding Sdn Bhd subsidiary for the additional ordinary share, while Kopi and Menelik no significant event occur. In 2019, Malaysia government has relating the MCO on oil palm and rubber industry for the Kopi and issued a federal government gazette for the Menelik. The group of Gamuda agreed to invest 50% stake in Multikiners Release and proposed disposal that have material impact on financial statement of SCS Steel Holding Berhad. For 2020, all the company was not adjusting event due to consider in perspective of COVID-19 and current economic environment.
According MFRS 116, property, plant and equipment stated the outline for two methods, which is cost model when the asset is carried at cost less accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment loss. Revaluation model is when the assets are carried at revalued amount, its fair value being at the end of revaluation less subsequent of depreciation, provided that the fair value can be measured reliably. Our 5 chosen listed company disclosed the same information regarding PPE from 2018 until 2020. Except the freehold, all the PPE are measured at cost less accumulated depreciation and any accumulated impairment loss. According to MFRS 136, a long-lived tangible asset (PPE) is impaired when a company is unable to cover the asset's carrying value through use or sale, or when the carrying amount exceeds the recoverable amount. The impairment test is used to determine whether an impairment loss should be incurred on the asset. The following table summarizes the amount of impairment loss that listed company have incurred and disclosed in the financial statement. The term key audit matters refers to those items that, in our professional judgment, were most significant during our audit of the groups and the company financial statement for the current fiscal year. Based on this chart, it shows that this is the list of the key audit matters of the 5 listed companies in our findings. Return on equity is a financial indicator that calculates after-tax income divided by total equity and can be expressed as a percentage. In general, companies with a higher return on equity generate more earnings and free cash flow, which enables the company to expand at higher rates, maintain profitability ratio, and provide the cash returns to the shareholders. This is our calculation, the ROE of listed company. Some companies such as Gamuda, Gopeng and Bernalek have seen their ratio decline, potentially arise to the outbreak of the COVID-19. As a result, it has an impact on the ROE analysis.
Return on asset is a financial measure that reflects how profitable a firm in comparison to its total asset. From the graph, we can see our calculation on return on asset ratio. Dolomite Corporation Berhad had a return on asset that is negative for the first 2 years, which is 2018 and 2019. Then, Gamuda Berhad return on asset are not too stable because they have increased and decreased in these 3 years. Then, CSC Steel Holding Berhad has a continuously increasing ratio compared to all 5 companies for all 3 years. Gopeng Berhad did not see a drastic change but a relative low ratio in these 3 years. Bernalek experienced a decline in a ratio for all 3 years, which is 2018, 2019 and 2020.
For current ratio analysis, by comparing all 5 companies, Dolomite Corporation Berhad has current ratio below 1 for all 3 years. Next, Gamuda Berhad has the most ideal current ratio, which is between 1.5 to 2 throughout all 3 years. On the other hand, Bernalek Holding Berhad current ratio is relatively ideal because it is not too low or not too high, which is between 2 to 6. For CSC Steel Holding Berhad is the second highest current ratio compared to all 5 companies. And lastly, referring to the graph, Gopeng Berhad has the highest current ratio, which was up to 47.9087 in year 2018.
Next, we move to the asset turnover ratio. The higher the asset turnover ratio, the more efficient a company is at generating revenue from its asset. To summarize, all companies had asset turnover ratio smaller than 1 except CSC Steel Holding Berhad, which is typical for firms in the industrial product sector.
Based on the debt ratio graph, we can see that the CSC Steel Holding Berhad and Gopeng Berhad has a lower debt ratio, which is less than 0.4. That make the both company seem to have the more asset and liability, while for Dominic show the highest ratio is greater than 0.6. That make the asset are financed by the debt for all the 3 years compared to other company.
In conclusion, our project has found the company's main event and the key audit matters. This project identifies the firm's important application and disclosure of MFRS 108, 110, 116, 136, critical audit concerns and measures of working capital management ratio. The new MFRS is not yet effective for some companies. We found that all companies use cost model method for PPE and some companies had no reversal in payment for all 3 years. Finally, serious audit matters are included in the audit committee section for all companies.